What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and your biggest dreams is a single thought? Not money, not connections, not even luck, just one thought that says, "This is impossible." In 1961, a doctor told Roger Bannister's competitors that running a mile in under 4 minutes was physically impossible. The human body, they said, simply couldn't do it. And for years, no one did. Until Roger Bannister proved them wrong. And here's the crazy part. Within 1 year of Bannister breaking that barrier, 37 other runners did the same thing. The same impossible feat that no one could achieve for decades suddenly became ordinary. Today, we're diving deep into a powerful concept that has transformed ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. We're talking about the philosophy of thinking the impossible and actually going out there to get it. So if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever thought your dreams were too big, or if you've been told, "Be realistic," this video is for you. Stick around because by the end of this, you'll have a complete roadmap to turn your impossible dreams into your everyday reality. Part 1. The Prison of Possibility. Here's a question for you. When was the last time you stopped yourself from pursuing something because you thought it was impossible? Maybe it was starting a business, learning a new skill, changing careers, or simply believing you could be happy. Most of us live in what I call the prison of possibility, and the walls, they're built entirely in our minds. The flea experiment. Let me share a fascinating story with you. Scientists once conducted an experiment with fleas. They put fleas in a jar and covered it with a lid. The fleas would jump and hit the lid over and over again. After a few days, something interesting happened. The scientists removed the lid, but the fleas no longer jumped high enough to escape. They had conditioned themselves to jump only to a certain height. The lid was gone, but the limitation remained. Sound familiar? Your invisible ceiling. We all have invisible ceilings. They're created by past failures that haunt us, people who told us no, society's expectations of what we should do, our own fear of looking foolish. But here's the truth that most people never realize. The ceiling isn't real. It never was. The power of reframing. Think about this. Every single innovation, every breakthrough, every world-changing idea started as someone's impossible thought. The Wright brothers were told humans couldn't fly. Elon Musk was told reusable rockets were fantasy. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers who thought no one would read Harry Potter. The difference between them and everyone else? They refused to accept the word impossible. They reframed it. They asked, what if it is possible? What would that look like? So here's your first challenge. I want you to think about one thing right now, one dream you've labeled as impossible. Got it? Good. Don't let it go. We're coming back to it. Part 2. The impossible mindset. All right, so if the barriers are mental, how do we break through them? How do we develop what I call the impossible mindset? Principle number 1. Question everything you think you know. Most of our limitations come from unchallenged assumptions. We assume things are impossible because we've never seen it done, we've failed before, everyone knows it can't be done. But remember the 4-minute mile? Everyone knew it was impossible until someone proved it wasn't. Action step. Start asking yourself, who says? Where did I learn this? Is this actually true, or is it just a belief? Principle number 2. Embrace the identity of a beginner. Here's something counterintuitive. The people who achieve the impossible aren't necessarily the smartest or most talented. They're the ones willing to look stupid while they learn. Let me tell you about Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She had zero experience in fashion or business. She didn't know what she was doing, and that was her superpower. Because she didn't know the rules, she didn't limit herself by them. She asked questions experts would never ask. She tried things seasoned professionals would never attempt. She turned a $5,000 investment into a billion-dollar company. When you're a beginner, everything is possible because you don't yet know what's supposed to be impossible. Principle number 3. Think in experiments, not outcomes. This is huge. Most people don't chase impossible dreams because they're terrified of failure. But what if there was no such thing as failure? What if every attempt was just an experiment, just data? Thomas Edison didn't fail 1,000 times to invent the light bulb. He successfully discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work. Each one brought him closer to the solution. Mindset shift. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What will I learn?" Principle number 4. Surround yourself with impossible thinkers. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." If you hang around people who say, "Be realistic, play it safe, and that'll never work," guess what? You'll start believing them. But if you surround yourself with dreamers, doers, and people who've achieved their own impossible goals, you'll start to think anything is possible. Question for you. Look at your closest 5 friends. Are they lifting you up to think bigger or pulling you down to play small? Drop your answer in the comments. Principle number 5. Take unreasonable action. Here's where most people get stuck. They think the impossible, but they never go get it. Why? Because they wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect circumstances. But impossible dreams require unreasonable action. You have to move before you're ready. You have to take steps that don't make sense. You have to commit fully even when the path isn't clear. Story time. When Jim Carrey was a struggling actor, broke and unknown, he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He dated it for Thanksgiving 1995 and carried it in his wallet every day. People thought he was crazy, but that unreasonable action, believing in something that didn't exist yet, kept him focused. And guess what? Just before Thanksgiving 1995, he found out he was cast in Dumb and Dumber for exactly $10 million. Part 3. The Roadmap to the Impossible. Okay, so you've got the mindset. Now let's get tactical. How do you actually turn an impossible dream into reality? Step 1. Define your impossible with clarity. Vague dreams produce vague results. You can't hit a target you can't see. Don't just say, "I want to be successful." Define it. What exactly do you want? What would it look like? How would you feel when you achieve it? Why does it matter to you? Write it down. Make it vivid. Make it so clear that you could describe it to a stranger in detail. Step 2. Reverse engineer from the end. Start with your impossible goal and work backwards. If your goal is to run a marathon and you've never run a mile, don't focus on the 26.2 miles. Ask, what do I need to do this month, this week, today? Break the impossible into small, possible steps. Example: Year 5, $1 million business. Year 3, first $100,000 in revenue. Year 1, first paying customer. Month 1, validate the idea. Week 1, talk to 10 potential customers. Today, make 1 phone call. Suddenly, the impossible becomes a series of very possible actions. Step 3. Build your proof pile. Every time you achieve something, no matter how small, add it to your proof pile. This is evidence that you're capable of more than you think. Ran your first mile? Proof. Had a difficult conversation? Proof. Learned a new skill? Proof. Your brain needs evidence that you can do hard things. Build that evidence intentionally. Step 4. Expect and plan for obstacles. Here's a reality check. The path to the impossible is filled with obstacles. That's not a bug, it's a feature. Obstacles aren't signs you should quit, they're signs you're on the right path. Mental reframe. Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "Why is this happening for me? What is this teaching me?" Make a list right now of the top 3 obstacles you expect to face. Then next to each one write, "When this happens, I will." Preparation removes panic. Step 5. Celebrate progress, not just outcomes. Most people only celebrate when they reach the finish line, but the finish line might be years away. You'll burn out long before you get there. Instead, celebrate the small wins. You showed up today? Celebrate. You tried something new? Celebrate. You kept going when you wanted to quit? Celebrate. Progress compounds, and celebration fuels more progress. Part 4. Overcoming the inner critic. Now let's talk about the biggest obstacle you'll face. It's not external. It's the voice in your head that says, "Who do you think you are? You're not smart enough. You're going to fail. People will laugh at you." We all have that voice. The question is, how do you handle it? Strategy 1. Name your inner critic. Give that voice a name, something silly even. Negative Nancy, doubtful Dave, worried Wendy. Why? Because when you externalize it, you realize it's not the truth. It's just a voice, and you can choose not to listen. Strategy 2. Thank it and move on. Your inner critic thinks it's protecting you. It's trying to keep you safe from rejection, failure, and pain. So instead of fighting it, thank it. "Thanks for trying to protect me, but I've got this." Then do the thing anyway. Strategy 3. Collect evidence against it. Your inner critic thrives on fear and assumptions. Combat it with facts. Every time it says, "You can't," remind yourself of a time you did. Every time it says, "You're not enough," list 3 reasons why you are. Facts beat feelings every time. Strategy 4. Focus on service, not self. When you're focused on yourself, your fears, your inadequacy, your potential embarrassment, the inner critic gets loud. But when you're focused on who you can help, what you can contribute, and the impact you can make, the inner critic quiets down. Shift from "What will people think of me?" to "Who will benefit from this?" Part 5. Real-world examples of the impossible. Let me leave you with 3 incredible stories of people who thought the impossible and went out and got it. Example 1. Malala Yousafzai. At 11 years old, Malala dreamed of something impossible in her region of Pakistan: education for girls. She was shot in the head by the Taliban for speaking out. Doctors said she might not survive. But she did. And she didn't just survive, she became the youngest Nobel Prize laureate in history and has helped millions of girls access education worldwide. One girl with an impossible dream changed the world. Example 2. Chris Gardner. Chris Gardner was homeless, sleeping in subway bathrooms with his young son. He had no college degree, no connections, and no resources. His impossible dream? To become a stockbroker. People laughed, but he studied harder than anyone. He worked without pay during a grueling internship. He refused to give up. Today, he's a multi-millionaire entrepreneur and philanthropist. His story inspired the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. Example 3. You. Yes, you. Maybe you haven't made headlines, maybe your story isn't in a movie yet, but think about something impossible you've already achieved. Maybe you survived something you thought would break you. Maybe you learned a skill you thought was beyond you. Maybe you helped someone in a way that changed their life. You've already done impossible things, which means you can do them again. So here's my question. What's your next impossible? All right, let's bring this home. We've covered a lot today. The mental barriers that keep us stuck, the 5 principles of the impossible mindset, the tactical roadmap to achieve your dreams, how to overcome your inner critic, and real proof that ordinary people achieve extraordinary things every single day. But here's the thing, none of this matters if you don't take action. Your challenge. I want you to do 3 things right now. 1. Write down your impossible dream, the one you've been too scared to say out loud. Write it down. 2. Identify one small action you can take today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. What's one step, no matter how tiny, that moves you toward that dream? And 3. Share it. Drop it in the comments below. Tell me, my impossible dream is... When you declare it publicly, something shifts. You stop hiding and start becoming. Remember Roger Bannister and that 4-minute mile? Here's what's incredible. He didn't just break a record, he broke a belief. And once that belief was shattered, everyone else could see it was possible too. Your impossible dream isn't just about you. When you achieve it, you give everyone around you permission to dream bigger too. You become proof that the impossible is just the possible, waiting for someone brave enough to try. So go ahead, think of the impossible, and then go get it. If this video resonated with you, smash that like button and subscribe for more content. Drop a comment telling me what's one impossible thing you're going to pursue. And remember, the only difference between impossible and possible is someone who decides to try. I'll see you in the next video. Now go chase your impossible.